into all of these books and all of this stuff as a Christian because when I rededicated my life in prison whilst I was in there, they would come to my cell. The guards want to talk to you. Come outside, preacher. We want to talk to you, dealing with the white man and the Moors and the Israelites and the 5%ers and the Muslims, and everybody is in there. Now I'm in my cell trying to pray, Lord, let me get out of here and never come back again. But they're coming to my cell bothering me. Come to the yard. So I bought thousands in books. I've read all of this stuff. This is over 20 years ago. But I see that these teachings are being regurgitated and they're very popular because of the advent of the internet. There's a lot of people, Polite by his own testimony, young Pharaoh by his own testimony. We know where Dr. York is right now. A lot of people come from the prison system, and we have time to read all of these books and go to the yard and talk all of this madness. And it's not based on true scholarship, because in jail you get whatever and you read whatever, and then you go out your cell and they're white correction officers. Of course you're going to say the white man is the devil. It fits with the condition that you're in inside the penitentiary. And this is just how it is. And there's a lot of people that have bitterness towards Europeans. So we say all of these things. So I'm familiar. When I start hearing these things, I'm like, oh God, that's the jail doctrine. But right now, for the pastors, for the ministers that are out there, the jail doctrine, they're in the streets. It's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, and this ancient Kemetic doctrine that began and flourished in the prison is out here, and it's out here, and it's out here real strong. And we have to give an answer. We have to be equipped and give an answer and begin to start explaining to people various things. Now, I thought it was a waste because I said, Lord, after all these years, I've read so much madness. When I started seeing certain things with the writings of Dr. Ben and Ivan Van Sertima and Book of Beginnings, Gerald Massey and Kersey Graves, World 16 Crucified Savior, Sheikh Anti Diop, 50,000 Errors in the Bible, with Frank ISIS papers. By the time I started going through all of this, I'm like, Lord, I've wasted so much time reading so much stuff. But now here it is 20 years later. 20 years later, I see a great need for that. So people are coming and saying, listen, you know a lot about that stuff. And it seems like that's how God moves in his economy. Like that stuff wasn't a waste, because I see it's prevalent right now. When we start dealing with the ghost and where you go when you die, we have to go back to Genesis 10, and we have to go back to the book of Enoch and what we call non-canonical works, books that are not in the Protestant canon. They're part of the Ethiopian church, but they're not in the Protestant canon. And the Ethiopian church, like I said, they've always reverenced the book of Enoch. The book of Enoch speaks about 200 angels that fell, that came down from their first estate. And for the Christians that's upset, if y'all would just Google Watchers, the book of Daniel speaks about the Watchers, and the Watchers making the decree with the Most High God. These are powerful beings that scriptures would call in the Hebrew Bible the Elohim. The Elohim, you have the everlasting God, the Most High God, and then you have Elohim or other beings around him, like there is in a council. This is what we get from the Hebrew Bible, no matter a lot of us may not teach it like that in church. One good indication of that is that after what we call the fall of man, Adam and Eve sinned, the Elohim or God, the Most High God, went back to a group of beings, and he said the man has become like one of us. And then, he sent the angel there with the flaming sword to keep them from the tree of life. And then we get into the redemption plan of God. We see the whole thing working out. But the book of Enoch said that those watchers fell down and they were multi-dimensional beings. We had to start speaking about this, E.T. and with Zechariah Stitchin and the cuneiform tablets and the Rubu and all of this stuff. I know some of my pastor friends may think this is crazy, but this is stuff that's flooding the internet, and we have to discuss these things. And it says that the sons of God, or those Elohim or those beings, whoever they were, they didn't come down with wings. They were shapeshifters. They had the ability to take on the form of a human, and they came down here and they slept with women. When the great flood took place, what people believe, some would argue, and we discussed all of this in Sunday seminary, was the planet flooded, was the entire Levant area flooded. Some people would argue because the king's list in Egypt, there's no break in the king's list with Manetho and the dynasties. We're going to get into all of that before the year is out in Sunday seminary. But the great flood took place because many people throughout the world, even among Greek literature, among the Greeks, that gods came down, that beings came down to the planet and slept with women, and they had offspring. Some of these people say the offsprings were giants, but whatever the situation, however you take the tale, however you take the story, or occult tradition came from those beings. But when those beings died, because they were half angel or half gods, or an eternal and half human, those descendants, their souls didn't have any place to go, like far as heaven and hell. So their souls roamed, and those souls became what are known biblically among many scholars as demons. So by the time Jesus come on the scene in the Apostle Paul and they're casting out demons, these are the souls of those beings prior to the flood. That's one theory on the origin of demons. We're demonic or evil spirits in Santeria and voodoo. They're evil spirits in almost every ancient Indian worship and almost every culture on the planet. There are evil and good spirits, and that's where the biblical story comes from. No matter the Bible in and of itself does not give us the origin of demons. But if we go back to other books that were reverenced, like the book of Enoch, we'll see that. So that brother, he heard something from a brother dealing with the melanin theory and dealing with the book of Enoch, and he just mixed it all up and told that brother because he was a mulatto, his soul would just become a ghost. I'm scared of black folk. My name is Brother Berean. If you like what you heard, subscribe. Y'all can get in touch with me at BereanTeachGmail.com. Thanks for watching.